Hi, I am Alankrit. Today I will discuss LeetCode bi-weekly contest 172. Let's start with third problem of this contest. In this problem, we are given an array nums and a string s, both of length n, and we also have a score which is initially 0. We can add nums of I to score if and only if s of I is 1. Now we also have some operations which we can apply if this condition is true, and we can apply this operation any number of times. We have to maximize the possible score. So let's try to dry run for this test case. Now for this test case we have nums as this one and s as this one. Now we can clearly see that for this part the condition is true. Therefore we can swap these both values. So this means where initially we were taking this to the score, but now we are taking this 2 to the score and discarding 1. Similarly for this part also, initially we had taken 2, but now we are taking 5 to the score, and adding both 2 and 5 we will get 7, which is our answer. Now to achieve this, we have to see what will happen if s of I is 1 and at rest index it's 0. Now if s of I is 1, then suppose s of I for this case, for this one is 1 and for these it's 0, then we can see that we can take any value from this range to our score, any value to our score. But there is also one thing: if s at I for 3 is also 1, then we cannot take 5 for both of these values, which means we cannot take 5 two times. So this was also a thing. Now to find maximum in a given range, we would use heap. And we are using heap because adding and removing from heap happens in O of log n time, whereas any other data structure in Python would take O of add to add and O of add to remove, which would give us TLE. Now let's see what would be the code for this. In this I have initialized ls as my heap, and I have pushed every element to the heap, as we can see here. we require max from a range. Now if s at I is equals to 1, suppose for this condition, then the heap would contain each element, each of these elements, that is 2, 1, 5 and 2. Since it have 2, 1, 5 and 2, then maximum would be 5, and I would have added that thing to the answer and popped it out. Now I have used minus sign here because both these functions are for min heap. That's why I have used negative sign over here. Now let's see will this code work or not. Control C and let's see will this run. Yeah, this code works on their test cases. Now let's submit this. Yeah, it got submitted. So let's talk about time complexity of this code. The time complexity of this code would be n log n. Now let me tell you why it is. These both functions take log of n time. Log n time, whereas this loop would run for n times. Therefore, the time complexity would be n log n.